Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the addictions that I did have and also currently have, and how I'm going to beat them. The first one is nicotine. And if you watched my first video, then it's pretty clear that I use nicotine because I had a nicotine pouch right in my mouth when I talked. If that didn't reveal it, yes, I use nicotine patches. Here in Norway, they are called snus, and you might know them as nicotine pouches or the brand Sin. So usually in America, USA, you would just call them Sins, which is really fitting actually because it's really close to sins. Anyways, back to where it all began, how I started with nicotine pouches. A couple of years ago, I believe it's around 3 to 4 years ago now, I worked at a gas station called Circle K, and it was really a hot spot for drunk people to drive through and buy whatever burgers and nicotine, because we sold those at the gas station along with many different things. But as I kept working there, eventually I just got so stressed out. I was stressing every single evening and night shifts. Yes, I worked night and evening shifts with drunk people in Saturday evenings. It was hell. And because of that, I thought, why wouldn't I just try smoking? I've heard that nicotine helps a lot. Worst. One of the worst decisions I've ever made. I just wanted to ease the nerves, you know. So one day at the end of my shift, I bought a pack of cigarettes and walked out to the park next to the gas station and smoked one. And holy fuck. I went instantly into nicotine shock, kind of like a euphoria for me. I took a hit and it couldn't even finish the smoke. That was enough. But sadly, over time, I built up the resistance to nicotine. So I smoked more and more. And pretty soon, the effects started to be apparent. I've heard that it causes cancer because of all the smoke. That was a big worry for me. But that wasn't the biggest reason that I stopped smoking and went over to nicotine pouches. It was because I couldn't do it inside, so I couldn't just do it right now in my room. I needed to go outside. And also I hid it from everyone, my friends and my family, so the smoke wasn't exactly helpful. The smell from the smoke. You can instantly recognize if someone has smoked in the last half hour or so. So that was a big reason I switched to nicotine pouches. So I did the switch, but also the problems with nicotine pouches also came very early, and it became apparent to me that this is not something I should do either. Over time, they just decay. It cuts up all of your gums up in here, and also if you use the brown nicotine pouches, aren't as degrading to your gums, but you will get very brown teeth, almost black if you go on for decades. I didn't want that at all. And in combination with the poor dental hygiene I've had over the years, my mouth would be destroyed. If I kept going like this, I wouldn't have teeth. I'm almost certain of it. I quickly became addicted to the nicotine and went to stronger and stronger nicotine pouches with more milligrams nicotine, until I had about 7 to 8 a day. And you might think that that's not so much. But what most people don't realize is that the nicotine pouches I used is around the double amount of nicotine that a cigarette has. These pouches had 16.3 milligrams. That's an insane amount. And you can now see how hard it is for me to just step down from it, because my body has become so accustomed to it. 2-3 hours without nicotine will put my body into basically fight or flight. I need to find nicotine. I am so tired of that. Along with the health problems and the addiction problems, it's not good for the economy either. One box, yes, I have it here. And I'll come back to it. One box of these is around 100 kroners, roughly $10. And throughout the years, I've used one box every 2, 3, maybe 4 days. And that quickly becomes over $100 a month. And with, let's say, 3 years, with that amount, do the maths. That's $3,600. Because of an addiction that I could have used anywhere else. Now let's talk about quitting. I've tried to quit before, both cold turkey and with a progressive deloading. That didn't work then. But I'll still continue to try the progressive deloading because I know cold turkey doesn't work. It's insanely hard. The first day I completely break down. I won't try that again. That's too extreme. But with progressive deloading, I take less nicotine pouches every day until I basically don't need them anymore because my body has trained to not have nicotine. And a really good substitute for nicotine pouches is nicotine gum. These have 4 milligrams of nicotine. Once you get the urge to have nicotine, you take one of these, and they have nicotine, so it will drench the urge to have nicotine. It's actually 4 times less nicotine. It also has another chemical. It's not bad for you at all, but it also is a substitute to nicotine, which doesn't have an addictive quality, and it brings down the urge even more. So I will begin using this a lot more when I have the urge to have nicotine. And hopefully I'll need to use these less and less over time until suddenly I don't want these anymore either. I just don't want nicotine. And I'll also write down whatever nicotine use I have, and I'll report it back to you, either in some posts or shorts, or maybe a full video if I have enough. Now let's get to another addiction, which is quite similar, but it is basically caffeine. And this is an addiction that's normalized. I just need my morning coffee and I'll be my good jolly old self. Why do you need caffeine to work properly? It shouldn't be like that. It's an addiction that's so normalized that nobody even thinks about it anymore. And when I say normalized, it's more about the coffee use. Energy drinks are not so normalized, but if you see someone drinking an energy drink, you don't really think about it, do you? You just sit there and, he's drinking an energy drink, what's the problem with that? But if he watches this video, or any of my friends watches this video, they'll know exactly who I'm talking about, but I won't to expose anyone by name or something. I have a friend who's so addicted to caffeine, I'm actually pretty certain he's going to have a heart attack soon, and we are trying to make him drink less, but it's futile. He can drink multiple cans of energy drinks a day. He can drink an energy drink right before he goes to sleep. not feel the effects. I do understand it. To a certain extent, I understand where it comes from. Because I myself almost need caffeine to function properly myself. It's an addiction. There's no long-lasting effect of caffeine. You build up your tolerance to it. If I don't drink it, I become tired. And if I do drink it, it just means I'm back to normal. And that's not what caffeine should do. It should give you a boost in energy, not bring you back to base. I think caffeine is okay if you don't take it regularly and you need a boost in energy. But that's not the case for me. If I want to be normal, if I don't want to be tired, I need caffeine. I'm not just talking about a cup of coffee, I need an energy drink. And that also hurts my wallet and, in this case, also my health. Not just because of all the chemicals and the effect caffeine has on the heart. Also because one of my favorite energy drinks is the Mango Loco Monster. It has 250 calories in just that half a liter. I just add 250 calories to my daily intake just because I want to get back to normal. So in that case, I can just switch to a zero sugar, 0 calorie energy drink. But it's just so fake. Even though a normal energy drink is fake too, 0 sugar is even more than that. I can do that, but it's not enough, because that's not the problem. The process I'm going through right now is, one, of course, buying the sugar-free energy drinks to limit the calorie intake, and also about 50% of the time, if I have time at home or if there's a coffee machine nearby that I can use for free or in the same price range as an energy drink, I will drink coffee because it's much better than an energy drink. A lot less caffeine and a lot less chemicals and artificial stuff. And I feel grown up, you know. I feel like a man. Energy drinks is for kids. So, similarly to nicotine, I will be doing progressive deloading. And I really hope to not need caffeine in the future. While I still can go to a cafe and drink a cup of coffee with a friend, I won't sit there and shake my leg because I don't have caffeine in my body and I need one. I don't want that feeling. So one of the big ones that is, I would say, most common, and almost no one talks about it. It's a dopamine addiction. You have it, I have it. I would say 99% of the people on Earth have it. At least Western countries. The dopamine addiction includes, but are not limited to, YouTube videos, streaming platforms, gaming, scrolling YouTube shorts, online communications. Yes, that is a thing. That creates dopamine with false premises. And some of the next points that I will go deeper into after this one, such as masturbation and food. So a big reason that dopamine addictions is so prevalent in Western countries, it's because it's mostly a lack of purpose and things to fill in your empty time. You relate to this, right? You've gone to school or work, you come home. Sure, you shower, eat, then what? What do you want to do? You don't really have anything. Maybe you got some martial art or a club you go to. Maybe you actually do have something productive to do. And clean your house or work on a business or make YouTube videos. But most people don't have that. Most people will just sit in front of the TV, watch YouTube videos or movies. They will sit down on their computer and play video games. Oh, but it's with my friends, so I think that's okay. No. And I know some of my friends are watching this. I know I do this too. I know I sit down and game with my friends. I know I sit with my TV and watch YouTube videos and movies. I do that. And that's what I'm saying. It's my bad habits. You can't say I'm hypocritical, because I say I'm working on this. I'm not perfect, and I will get better at it. That's a bit of a tangent, but what you need to do is fill your time with something purposeful, productive, that brings positive effects to your life. Maybe you want to do YouTube yourself. You join a sports club or a improv club. You maybe want to learn an instrument. You want to learn coding. You want to learn how to write better. And you do business research, and maybe you want to start a business yourself. You sit down and read helpful books. And even just go out, have social interactions with people that are not online, because it's so much more fulfilling if you do it in real life than if you sit on Discord and talk to your friends, don't see their faces. It's not real. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's not real when you talk to people on the internet. You don't get the same satisfaction and fulfillment from talking to people online as you do in real life. You want to have eye contact. You want to show more emotion and receive more emotion with body language. And luckily, after I started making these new YouTube videos, my free time has gone down drastically since I'm making these videos. And also I'm exercising. I'm upholding my bedroom and bathroom much more frequently, so I have that going on. I'm learning piano and guitar at the same time. Also I'm reading books and going on walks with my dog. And going on walks doesn't need to just be for the health benefits, but mental too. And if I don't have anything going on at that point, if I don't want to do anything productive, I can just sit. That's boring, right? Actually not. When you're so far away from constant dopamine intake, just sitting and thinking doesn't become boring. I become inspired and motivated. I come up with new video ideas, new business ideas, and write them down. That's so much better than just consuming content and not doing anything. Just sit at your PC or in your bed, and the most you ever do is sit there. The funniest thing you'll ever see, you sit there. That's it. Is that fun? Is that really fun? And absolutely, don't get me wrong. At all. Seeing a YouTube video, kind of like this one, educational, informative, I believe that's okay. I do that too. But the difference is I act on the things I hear in these videos. If you're sitting down, like so many others, if you're just sitting down and listening and not taking action, that's just as bad as watching entertainment for entertainment purposes. Just like that. You're not doing anything. I want you to take action. I want you to become better. Not just watch how you can become better. First step is always watching these videos and get motivation, I guess. And get information that you can act on. The second step is acting. How many of you watching is on that second step. I would guess not a lot. I would guess a majority of you is still on the first step and just consuming. Actually try. Actually do something. Please do something. It will help you. Now, for the subject you don't want to hear. It may be touchy, it may be sensitive, but I think it's so serious for a lot of people. Of course, I'm talking about masturbation. A while ago now, many months, I choked the chicken at least once a day. At least. Could be more. Now, I've gotten it down to maximum one a week. And less. But I want to eradicate it entirely. After the incidents, I felt bad 2 to 3 days after. You have all heard of post-nut clarity. When you don't do it every day, you don't realize it. That small post-nut clarity, that's just you falling down. Just, oh shit, what have I done? This is not what I should have done. But that's it, right? You maybe want to work a little bit, but it disappears. Lust is powerful. It gives you the masculine energy and the urge that you need. And when you give in, that disappears. Especially if you masturbate to porn. At least use your imagination. If you watch porn, you release so much of the primal urges you have built up in your body. You have now seen a woman naked. You now busted a nut. You've expelled all your stuff. And now you won't get the same wants, the same urges, because you've already done what you needed to do, what your primal you wanted to do. It's in our blood. Our main task in this world is to reproduce, pass on our genes. Every single person, every single animal, every single living being's main task is to reproduce. That's just the nature of it. And when you take away that want, that need to fulfill your nature's purpose, nothing to do. I now busted a nut. I saw a naked woman and I busted a nut. Now I don't have to do anything. Might as well just lay down and watch YouTube. But if you don't masturbate, this is where it gets good. You've all heard of NoFap. I don't care about NoFap. It's cringe. What I care about is fapping less frequently. Especially since, because of the streak system they have in NoFap communities. You're on, let's say, day 7, a week into it, and you bust a nut. You're on day 0 again. What if you bust another one? Doesn't change a thing. Right? I'm still on 0 days. Might as well continue. You see how fucked up that is? And it destroys your entire mentality. Fuck, I lost a 30-day streak. Now I'm 0. I'm no better than I was. That's not how you should think. The frequency is what makes you better. The more frequent, the worse. The less frequent, the better. If you masturbated once a day, every day, and then you went a month without masturbating, and then you're mad that you're right back where you began. No, you're not. You went 30 days. That's huge. Congratulations. Now, you can easily do a 30 days again. But if you think that you're on day 0, you're right back where you started, you're just gonna do it again. and again and again. And before you know it, you actually are back where you started. I'm getting mad about this stuff. And the effects of not nutting is positive. It's not just negativity about nutting. Not nut. But not nutting is also good. That's a tongue twister. If you keep it in, if you keep all your stuff inside, your masculine energy, your primal urges, your wants, will build up inside you. And all of that can be put into something that is actually beneficial to you. Because you know, if you improve yourself, you are more likely to get girls in the future. Right? Also, a side note. If you watch another woman getting fucked by another man, you're essentially training yourself to be a cuck. Research has proven that the more you watch of a certain thing, a certain sexual thing, you will be more likely to want that in the future. So, by watching, you will learn to like, guess what? Watching. You don't want that. You wanna fuck. And if you're that kind of person who wants citations and proof of the research, just let me give you the information and you do with it what you will. You still shouldn't watch porn. If you come up with every excuse as to why you should, I guess I can't help you, because that's if you want excuses as to why you should watch porn, I don't get you. I don't know why you're here. It's an addiction, and it's a bad addiction, and it will ruin your dating and sex life. That's the bottom line. Let's talk about procrastination. It somewhat aligns itself with dopamine addiction, but it's still different. Because if you do something that gives you dopamine, you don't want to do anything more boring than that. That makes sense, right? So, what I've realized is if you try to do nothing, then you will quickly want to do the thing that you were procrastinating. Because that's better. It's more fun. Like if you're procrastinating doing homework, of course you don't want to do homework if you're sitting and watching a YouTube video. And instead of pushing yourself, okay, I gotta do homework, try first closing the YouTube video and sit there and do nothing with the homework in front of you. Try to not do the homework. After a while, you would want to do the homework. That's not the only cause of procrastination. There's two other things. There is perfectionism. That you don't want to do something until you're absolutely certain that it's going to be perfect. Or you don't put something out, you don't finish a product before it's perfect. And the funny thing is, there was a study. There was, in a class, right? There were two groups of people. They were both gonna make pots, like clay pots. One group was told to make a perfect pot, exactly to the instructions. It's gonna be perfect. The other group was told to make as many pots as possible within a time frame, the same time frame for both groups. The funny thing is, when the time was up, can you guess which one had the best pots? The group that made the most pots. Because they did the same pot over and over again, and eventually became so good at it that they made the perfect pot. The other group, they didn't finish a pot. They didn't know how a pot would finish and everything like that. They just made a pot as good as they could, but they didn't have the experience to make a good pot. If you are a perfectionist, please think about quantity over quality, like I'm doing with this channel. I'm simply giving you information. Sure, the two last videos, not the last video, but the 2 videos after that, I did some editing. But it's not, I stopped halfway through. I could have done it better, but I wanted to give you the video. The only thing that was different that I could have done is color correction, some better edits, a better hook. But that's not important to you. It's only good for like video retention. You got the same information as everybody else without me doing it perfectly. Now the other thing that causes procrastination is the fear of failing. It kind of aligns with perfectionism, but in another way. You fear that you will fail. Let's take cold approach for example. You fear that you're going to get rejected. This one is so easy to avoid if you have the right mindset. You need to think of failing as a part of the journey, not the end. It's kind of like the clay pots. You don't want to be waiting around for the perfect opportunity to say the perfect thing to a woman. You need to just go, talk to a woman, cold approach different women all the time, and at the end, you will be much better at talking to a woman. You will most likely gotten a few numbers, maybe even found a girlfriend, right? I have a pretty good video on failure on my other channel. I will link to that. It will be the first link in the description. Here's a thing I've heard all the time over many years, the 5-minute rule. If there is something that you need to do, that you can do within 5 minutes, just go and do it. And if you need to do something that is going to take more than 5 minutes, just use 5 minutes on it. Sit down, okay, I'm gonna write this script for 5 minutes. That's what I did today. And I wrote the entire script. From start to finish. All of this was done in a day. It's honestly the fastest thing I've ever done, because this is a long video. And the 5-minute rule helped me do that. Ironically, while filming this video, I had pretty bad posture. The next point is bad posture. As you saw there, I immediately shifted my posture, which you probably did right now. I know you. But yeah, the first thing I've written down here is that it's easily forgettable. It is. You don't always think about your posture. It's something that should be subconscious. But if you sit down, you don't think about it. After a while, you're just gonna sink down. Eventually sit with your neck forward, your back up, your chest in. It's so bad for your spine and shoulders and everything. And if you always go around with good posture without training for it, it's gonna strain your back and neck, right? So the thing is, I have an exercise I do. I'll show it to you right now. So you lean against the wall, lower your back and shoulders, flush with the wall, legs out if it's hot, like I'm doing here. You move your arms against the wall and then move down and hold for about 5 seconds. And we repeat until you feel the back muscles and shoulder start to work. Do this in sets. I usually do around 2 to 3 sets and around 2 to 3 times a day. While you do this, you will feel, especially the shoulder blades. Those will be the most effective ones. And right as you're done, you will already feel them contracting your back and you'll get immediately better posture. But again, it doesn't have long-lasting effects on your posture. You suddenly are that. You need to do it multiple times. After time, you will begin to straighten out because your muscles behind your shoulder blades are getting stronger. What I think is funny, a lot of times I suddenly remember to have good posture. If I sit between a workout or in my chair here and waiting for a bus, I suddenly remember that I have bad posture, and while I just sit there, I just whoop. And an easy way to fix your posture, without being too straining, is to move your shoulders up, back, and then down, and you get your chest out. But it's easy to not do this too much. Like your back is arcing. So what I like to do is the same with the shoulders, but activate your core. What that does is your lower back won't curve so much. The last one, right there, I'm not entirely sure if I should classify it as a bad habit. It's more of a lack of a good habit. Social interaction. The bad habit is then isolation. And for me, it's becoming harder and harder because a lot of my friends are out of the city because they're studying, or the friends that are in the city is always busy with work or with school or whatever else they need to do in their lives. And myself too, I'm busy. It almost never links up, if you know what I mean. We don't meet up a lot. But I do live with my mom and her boyfriend, which I do talk to them, so I'm not entirely isolated. Even though it is bad, I talk to them on Discord. It's the closest thing I can get to them. But again, I should go out and talk. That's not an excuse to keep inside and talk on Discord. You still need to go outside. Like me, I need to go outside, get more interactions. So I have found out a step-by-step plan that I'm going to try to meet every day. I'll begin by mostly talking to strangers on the street while I'm taking a walk, or at work at least. Then I know who people are. The thing is, in Norway, we are very isolated people. We don't usually talk to people. I think this meme says it all. Right. But I will begin saying hi or good morning to strangers on a walk, on the street, waiting for a bus stop, maybe start up a conversation if they are willing to. Later on, I'll begin giving compliments, not like you're hot or your ass is great. Well, I might think that, I'm not gonna say that, that's so superficial. I'll maybe say, I like that jacket. Where'd you get it? I like your glasses. That's some cool shoes. I like your attitude. Things like that, you know? To just get out of my comfort zone. Even later, I'll begin sparking interesting conversations about really anything. After a compliment, where'd you get that? They maybe say, I got it at H&M. Oh, cool, I got some clothes over there. You shop there a lot. It's things like that. Just begin conversations with people. That will quickly make you grow outside of your comfort zone. And after that, you could begin cold approaching girls. You know? While I don't focus on that within a social interaction thing, it becomes so much easier after you talk to strangers. All women also. The best people to talk to. I love talking to older people. They're just so wholesome and wise, you know? They have so much to tell. But later on, cold approach girls. Many of them. And I can't wait. I can't wait to begin. It begins tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. That's it for a video. If you really listen to every single sentence I said in this video, consider subscribing. I've got a lot more coming up. And also check out my first channel. There's some good videos on there. I'll see you.